Do you know that you can buy land and fail to transfer it into your name simply because you didn't get all the necessary documents that can enable you to transfer this land into your names? Hi, my name is Joan.A and I'm a lawyer. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the necessary documents that you can get to enable you to transfer that land into your names. So you're probably wondering, how can you buy land and you fail to transfer it into your names, right? You'll be shocked. So considering that there is a lot of fraud in land transactions today, that's why it's important to hire a professional. So I can give you a scenario. For instance, let's say unfortunately you land on a fraudster. Let's say you who is watching the video, you bought land, and let's say the fraudster also sold land to another person. So there are two parties. He sold to you land and he told you he's going to send you the documents later. You've already paid the full purchase price of the land. And let's say he gave all the documents to this second party. And this second party so happens to register immediately. That land is going to belong to that second party, and you're going to fail to transfer this land into your names permanently. Why? Because our land laws protect someone who registers first, and if they register first and they were unaware of the fraud, meaning that our land laws are going to protect that person, meaning at the end of the day, the only solution that you have is to recover your money from the fraudster. And let me tell you, this person knows what they did to you, so they're going to disappear. That's how you find people telling you that I paid the purchase price, I'm calling this person's number, it's off, they're unreachable. So that's already a problem. So you might buy land and fail to transfer it, or if you manage, it can be a complicated process because you're going to go through tracking the person, a lot of complications. So when you buy land, make sure that you get the documents there and then, that very day. Do not give liberty to someone, to the seller, to tell you, oh, I'll forward them. Forward them becomes forwarding and they never reach. So what are the important documents that you're required to have in order to make a transfer of your names to that title? So when you're buying titled land, it's important for you to have a land sale agreement, which is commonly known as the purchase agreement. You have to make sure this agreement is dated and signed. The other important document that you're required to have is an original land title. If you're buying the entire piece of land from the seller, you're supposed to obtain a title because that's a direct transfer. Taking this title to the Office of Lands, they're supposed to cross out the seller's name and put your name as the new owner of that land. The other important document that you're supposed to have is a signed transfer form. This signed transfer form gives authority to the Registrar of Lands to transfer this land into your names. Now, what happens if the seller is selling to you just a portion of their land? Say they have 4 acres and they're only selling 1 acre to you. You need a mutation form that authorizes the Ministry of Lands to subdivide that land, and you're supposed to also obtain the title from the seller so that they can include on that mother title that this portion of the land was sold off. After being allocated a plot number on that land, you're supposed to return this title to the seller. What are the other documents apart from that? You're supposed to obtain a national ID from the seller as well. You're supposed to produce a national ID you as a buyer. What's the importance of a national ID? Today, the new land titles have NINs included on the land title. You're supposed to confirm the NIN on the national ID to make sure it corresponds with the NIN on the title that they have given you. You're supposed to get 2 passport photos of the seller, and you're also supposed to produce 2 passport photos of yourself, you as the buyer. You're supposed to obtain a TIN for yourself, you as the buyer, because you're supposed to pay some taxes to URA. So that's all you need when you're dealing with titled land. Now what happens if you're buying a chibanja? When you're buying a chibanja, the documents you need, the person is supposed to avail you with an old agreement and busulu receipts. And in case it's inherited land, the person is supposed to avail you with a list of how the deceased property was inherited. The person is also supposed to avail you with a will. The will is supposed to confirm that this person is only selling a portion of what they inherited. So when you're buying such land that is in form of a chibanja, make sure when you do the agreement, it is at least signed and witnessed by at least 2 family responsible members, because you do not want to find yourself in family disputes that you are unaware of. The most family disputes that you can find yourself in are you wake up, the person who sold to you the land has passed on and the family is reclaiming the land. So at the end of the day, you have evidence to show cause that you bought this land and people actually signed against that agreement. What are the key takeaways from this information that you have to take very importantly? When you purchase land and you get all the documents, if it means transferring your name on that title that very day and registering and finishing the whole process at once, please do it. Do not say that you're going to do it tomorrow and then tomorrow comes and you're like, oh, today it was not possible. Because, as I already told you, if the way fraud is common these days, you do not want to find when someone has already registered that land, the same land you bought. You do not want to fail to transfer your name onto that title. So and also involve a professional. There is this recent current event that is blowing up in the news where NEMA is evicting people. Our laws do not permit people to settle in wetlands, and there have been very many fraudsters that have sold land titles to people. And just because they are unaware, they have bought land in wetlands and they are suffering. You know, they say ignorance of the law is no defense. So they're just going to evict you and you're going to suffer for nothing. Just because simply you didn't hire a professional, a lawyer or a surveyor to look into your purchase, and these fraudsters just, you know. I only pray that these people are compensated. But that's all I had for you for today. Until next time, bye.